Have you noticed how fast tech is actually evolving, leaving so many developers behind? I've spent almost a decade in this field, starting as a junior developer to leading multi-million-dollar projects at Fortune 500 companies to today running my own seven-figure B2B consulting firm. And throughout this journey, I've seen technologies come and go, but what stayed consistent was that those who can't adapt will struggle. And 2025 will demand more from developers than it has ever before. So whether you're a seasoned engineer or you're just starting out, there's going to be one thing that we'll all have in common, and that is the need to stay ahead of the curve as technology transforms right before our eyes. And in today's video, I'll reveal the 3 habits that you need to stay ahead of the curve in 2025. And trust me, it's packed with new insights that will give you a competitive edge over everybody else. But before we jump into the main points, let's first talk about AI and machine learning. You're most likely asking yourself, do I need to spend time on them? Short answer, yes. AI is becoming a key part of software development. So you need to learn TensorFlow, PyTorch, and just understand the basic machine learning ideas, because all of those will make you a better software engineer. Now, you don't necessarily have to become a data scientist, but you still need a fundamental understanding to actually future-proof your career. And now that that's out of the way, let's talk about the first habit that you need to develop. And funnily enough, I actually discovered this in one of the most unexpected places, the library. I remember walking into the library, surrounded by thousands upon thousands of books. And at first, I remember trying to read a little bit of everything. I saw so many different books, fiction, nonfiction, so I would pick up one book here, flip through another one over there. But after a while, I observed something interesting about myself. I wasn't gaining any deep knowledge. Sure, I could recall bits and pieces of information, but I never got far enough to actually call myself an expert in any of the books that I read. And that's when it hit me. The problem wasn't the content that I was consuming, but rather my approach into consuming that content. I realized that if I wanted to truly understand something, I had to commit to it. So I forced myself to only pick up one book at a time and not to put it back until I finished it cover to cover. And here's the thing. How I felt in that library was exactly how I felt when I first started my journey into software engineering. I was overwhelmed by the endless sea of programming languages, frameworks, and just jobs out there. It was just like being in a library. I didn't know where to start and I wanted to choose everything. Should I learn Python or JavaScript? Should I focus on front end or back end, or maybe dive into something fancy like machine learning altogether? Should I get into quant? Whatever the case. And then one day I came across a job listing that stopped me in my tracks. I saw it said Rust developer, $300,000 a year. And my first thought was, what the hell is Rust? I'd never heard of it. And in that moment, I remembered the habit that I developed in the library, specialization. Instead of spreading myself thin across a dozen different languages and frameworks, I decided to focus all my energy on just one. The way I saw it, becoming okay at many different languages or frameworks wouldn't necessarily get me too far, but becoming great at one thing would open a lot more doors for me, as seen with the Rust role. And this habit carried on over into my software engineering career as a whole. I stopped chasing every new framework and language that popped up, and instead poured all my time and energy into mastering just one language and one framework. And it wasn't just about the technical skills, right? The programming skills. I applied this habit to how I actually approach job opportunities as well. Instead of mass applying to every open position I can find, I focused my efforts on a specific role in a specific niche that aligned with my expertise and what I want to do in the long term. And this focus paid off. In just a few months, I was earning 6 figures as a software engineering consultant for Fortune 500 companies. And specialization was the habit that actually gave me the clarity and ability to do exactly that. It allowed me to cut through the noise and focus on what mattered most. And that focus became the foundation for every step afterwards in my career. But the real payoff came years later when I discovered the second habit that perfectly complemented specialization. You see, after a while, I realized that purely technical knowledge could only take me so far. Sure, don't get me wrong, it helped me land roles, work on projects, and earn a good income. But when it came to growing beyond programming and truly actually thriving, making a lot of money, I hit a ceiling. It was like being a blacksmith who could forge the finest swords. They were sharp, balanced, and beautiful, but no matter how good these swords were, I still needed to sell them at the market. I needed something more. I needed to know how to attract customers, negotiate prices, and tell a compelling story about why my work was worth the investment. And similarly, my software engineering career was the same. I realized that versatility was the missing ingredient. It wasn't enough to be highly skilled in just one area. I had to become comfortable with learning new skills outside of my core expertise. Skills like persuasion, negotiation, and marketing weren't just extras. They were essential tools that were needed for my growth. And developing this second habit actually reminded me of the time I learned the piano. At first, the notes were clumsy and I often felt out of rhythm. But over time, the pieces started to click. I began to understand how different skills, like programming and communication, actually fit together, creating a melody of sorts that attracted clients and other opportunities in ways that I couldn't really have imagined at the time. And just like learning an instrument, the key with this habit was consistent practice. It wasn't enough to just dabble here and there. I had to approach learning as a daily habit, always seeking to improve, always staying curious, and always asking questions such as, what else can I learn today that will help me in the long run? And in essence, what I discovered was that the habit that led to this transformation was continuous learning, becoming a lifelong student of life. Whether it was persuasion, negotiation, or marketing, I realized something fundamental. The real leverage lies in building something of your own. But understanding how to unlock that leverage wasn't straightforward. It was confusing at first, to be honest. It was like holding pieces of a puzzle without knowing what the picture is actually supposed to look like. And that's when the third habit actually started forming. It was like planting a bamboo tree. You see, when you actually plant a bamboo seed, you won't see anything for weeks and sometimes even months. Day after day, it feels like nothing is happening. And most people would give up, thinking that the seed was faulty or that they did something wrong. But what they don't realize is that the bamboo spends most of its time growing underground, developing a complex root system. It's only after this root network is actually strong enough that the bamboo shoots straight up to break the surface. And when it actually does, it grows at an unbelievable pace, sometimes 3 feet in a single day. And the entrepreneurial habit is just like planting bamboo. For a long time, it feels like nothing is happening. You put in the work, you learn the new skills, you experiment with various ideas, you build solutions to problems, and you see little to no progress. You water the soil every day, wondering if your efforts will actually ever pay off. It's frustrating, it's discouraging, and there are times when you will want to quit, to go back to the way things were, safe and predictable. But here's the thing. The growth was happening the entire time. It was just happening below the surface, just like the bamboo. What felt like a waste of time was actually the foundation being laid, the roots being laid. And all these small daily efforts were creating something invisible but powerful, leverage. And once the roots were strong enough, the results finally appeared, all at once and seemingly out of nowhere. The habit I'm talking about, the one that actually changed everything and worked in symbiotic relationship with the first two habits, was learning to think beyond today and consistently building towards something bigger, even when I couldn't see the results right away. It's the habit of trusting the process, building systems, and working with long-term leverage in mind. And that's really the third habit, the habit of entrepreneurship. It's the ability to do work even when a payoff feels distant, trusting that every small action builds the roots of something much bigger down the line. And just like the bamboo, when the growth finally comes, it will be explosive. And while these habits will actually set you apart from other software engineers in 2025, you need to watch this video next if you really want to beat your competition. As always, thank you for watching and have a good one.